does it look like? Taking out the trash.
Yeah. What are you throwing away?
So long.
Wait a minute. Hey, what are you doing?
I told you, I'm taking out the trash. I can only keep one speaker. It's internet rules.
That's who?
The internet.
You're just gonna throw it away?
Well, not with this bag. I need a bigger one. Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Andrew Robinson and I am a recovering audiophile, and if this is your first time visiting our channel, I would like to say welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, then chances are this is a video that you have been waiting for, the main event, if you will. Today we will be answering the question of which is better, the JBL L100 Classic or Klipsch Heresy Mark IV. But before I get into it, obviously, we do not throw any loudspeakers away today. Let's face it, in 2020, as bad as things are out there, in here, in the hi-fi space, everything kind of kicks a lot of ass right now because there's just options at virtually every price point. So we are having fun today, okay? We're gonna have a lot of fun because the idea that there is a better or worse or a winner in any kind of category of a loudspeaker or piece of electronics, it's about fun because it's kind of a silly notion because all of this stuff is freaking great. But I know you didn't come here for me to play the devil's advocate or toe the line. You came here for me to pick a winner because we like winners. And you want to know what it is that I'm going to be using as my personal reference from here till, well, until something else comes along and kicks its ass. Okay, let's do it. Let's get into it because I said a year ago that the JBL L100 Classics were my reference point. They were going to be my reference speaker, and guess what? They are my reference speaker. They have been my reference speaker for a year. But that being said, I can now comment on certain things about them that I would not have been able to if my review was limited to only the few weeks that I had with them in the beginning. For instance, the walnut wood veneer on the L100s has started to crack and chip, and it has shown me one very, very important thing, and that is that the walnut veneer, while nice on the L100, is very thin. It's very thin. Now, full disclosure, as a reviewer, I likely move and interact with my speakers more than the average user. That is to say, I pick them up, I shift them around, I am constantly in contact. So the wear and tear that I put on a loudspeaker is likely higher than the average person. So if you are a person that buys something like an L100, sets it and forgets it, and just enjoys the way that it sounds, your mileage may vary and you may not run into the same issues that I do. But I can say that the walnut wood veneer on the L100s is incredibly thin and is very prone to scratching, chipping, or even peeling in certain situations. That is the bigger drawback or biggest drawback that I have found to the physical nature of the L100. The second is the fact that the stands, the optional stands, which I'm still not over by the way, but the optional stands, despite being powder coated, are starting to oxidize, meaning rust. They are starting to show rust in the welds and in the corners. This is not noticeable from normal viewing distances or listening distances, but when you get right up on it, there is noticeable oxidation and discoloration in the creases. In addition to the stands and the oxidation, the other thing, the little foam pads that live on the stands that kind of protect the loudspeaker's veneer from coming in contact with the metal, that foam has pretty much started to wear completely off after 1 year. And so there is some wood on metal contact happening now. So I can't really vouch for the absolute longevity of the stands themselves. Suffice to say that they're very well built. They have not started to warp or bend or flex in any way, but the oxidation and the foam peeling away is a mild concern of mine and something that any new prospective owner of the L100s should take into account, and something that there's no way I could have commented on positive or negative after just a short period, but I have noticed after a full year of ownership. In terms of sonics, The L100s haven't changed one bit. They sound as good as they did when I reviewed them, and they haven't changed at all. They sound exactly the same, and that is awesome. I'm not a big proponent of break-in. I don't believe in it, and I don't think you should either. I think it's a lot of BS when manufacturers sit there and say that you have to play a speaker for hundreds, if not thousands of hours before you understand what it is that you're hearing. The JBLs don't require that, and they have remained steadfast this entire time. So if you haven't seen my JBL L100 review, I would highly recommend you go check that one out. The link will be in the description or right up there for you to do that, because in that review, I break down all of the sonic characteristics of that speaker, and that's not why we're here today. So after a year of ownership, the only thing that I can really ding the L100s for is some minor wear and tear, which some of you may equate to poor craftsmanship. I just happen to think that I handle my loudspeakers a little bit more than the average person, but I did want to make you aware. The oxidation on the stands and the foam lifting or rubbing completely away, that has nothing to do with wear and tear. That is just happening with time, and you need to be aware of it. Don't know what to do about it, but something to be aware of. Other than that, sonically, they have not changed one bit in the year that I've had them, and that is awesome, because that's what you hope for. The drivers perform as they did when new, and honestly, I enjoy them as much today as I did then. But then, here come the Klipsch Heresy Mark IVs. And if we were still talking about the Klipsch Heresy Mark III, this would not even be a discussion. Full stop. The Klipsch Heresy Mark IIIs were good, not great. The Klipsch Heresy Mark IVs are fantastic. And it's one of the only times in my career where a manufacturer has claimed to have made a number of improvements that add up to big changes. A lot of the times, claims like that tend to be all marketing BS. You know it. We've all been there. We're like, oh, we changed this or we tweaked this, and oh, it just opened up a whole new world, and da-da-da-da-da. And then you get it home and you're like, waiting for that new world to show up. It's coming anytime. Still waiting. Fortunately, not unfortunately, but fortunately, the Klipsch Heresy Mark IV, all those little changes that I mentioned in that review did matter, did add up to something very substantial and different. And again, if you have not watched my Klipsch Heresy Mark IV review, links are in the description or up there, and you should definitely go do that and then come back, because the Klipsch Heresy Mark IV is, like I said in that review, borderline perfect for me. It does everything that I want a loudspeaker to do, and it does it with such ease. And it's that hallmark efficiency that Klipsch possesses that makes the performance that they're able to give so much more accessible at every volume point. That means that you don't have to necessarily crank the Heresy Mark IVs in order to make them come alive, in order for them to involve you in the process of listening. And for a lot of people, that's going to matter. For me, it mattered tremendously, because no longer do I kind of have to listen at a higher than average volume in order for something to feel alive, in order for it to be engaging. And that is one of the things about the L100 that I didn't fully realize was present until something more efficient like a Klipsch comes along, that you can get the same fulfillment, albeit at a lower volume, through a Heresy Mark IV than you can with an L100. The other thing, because the Klipsch Heresy Mark IV is so efficient, it's easier to drive, it's easier to pair with other electronics and get the most out of them and thus the speaker. Because the electronics don't have to work so hard, you don't have to go broke on expensive electronics in order to get the most out of, say, a speaker like the Heresy Mark IV. Is the Heresy Mark IV perfect? No, it's not. It's perfect for me, but it's likely not going to be perfect for everybody. One example of this, the L100 does play deeper and with a little bit more authority in direct comparison to the Heresy Mark IV. It's true. It's true. The L100 does reach just a little bit lower on its own, and because it's front ported, you get that little concussion of air. You feel it more when you really kind of crank it. The speed of the Heresy Mark IV's bass is quicker, so it doesn't have the same punch, but it has more snap. And that comes down to a personal preference. Like, which do you prefer? On what side of the fence do you fall? I like speed. I like an attack, because when a drummer hits a snare or a rim shot or hits the cymbal, I want to feel that immediacy. I want to feel that snap, and then I want to hear the decay. I like dynamics, and I like being able to enjoy dynamics at multiple different volume levels instead of always having to reach for 11 in order for the loudspeaker to come to life. And that really is the biggest difference between the L100 and the Heresy Mark IV. The Heresy Mark IV is just able to be enjoyed more readily at multiple volume points. And because of that, it makes it likely a little bit more suitable for a wider range of personal tastes and a wider range of listeners. If you are an apartment dweller, live in a small space, you may not be able to crank the volume up as loud whenever you feel like it, in which case a speaker like the Heresy Mark IV will likely suit you better, because you will get more enjoyment, more mileage out of it at lower volumes. But let's not mince words. The JBL L100 is sexy. It's nice to look at. And I love seeing those iconic orange grills in our living room flanking our BDI cabinet. I just do. I just think it is beautiful to behold. But that being said, I do think that the Heresy Mark IV's walnut veneer and just general construction is of a higher caliber than the L100. And you can literally feel the difference with your hands. I mean, I know you can't, you're watching this. But if you run your hand over the top of an L100, it feels a little bit coarse, almost raw, and some people might take to that. But honestly, when you run your hand over the top of a Heresy Mark IV, that finish, while looking raw, natural, or matte, is glass smooth. And so the finish of the Heresy Mark IV tells me that it might just last a little bit longer in comparison to the L100. And this is why, or all of these reasons are why I have ultimately chosen the Heresy Mark IV as my winner. And I don't know if any of you saw that coming, or maybe you did. I don't know. I was not expecting it. I really wasn't, because honestly, I was not expecting the Heresy Mark IV to be as big of an improvement over the Mark III. And like I said, if we were still talking about the Mark III, this is no contest. It's the L100. But the Heresy Mark IV is that much better. And as a result, it is the better loudspeaker for me and my lifestyle right now. And I know it's what Christy prefers, and it's her favorite. And every time that we've had to swap them out since reviewing them for something else, because obviously we still have to review other things, she's like, oh, we need to bring those back. And I can't say I disagree. They are infectious. I love them so much. And that is why they are my winner in a head-to-head shootout between the L100 and the Heresy Mark IV. If I could only live with one, I would choose the Heresy Mark IV at this point. I'm just picking a winner for fun. That's all. That's all. But you know what? That's what the comments are for, right? That is what the comments are for you to tell me your thoughts. Where do you fall? Did you?
They're probably mostly going to fall with.
They might.
You don't know what you're talking about.
So that's it. That's today's video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you think, what team you are on. Did I get it right? Did I monkey it up completely? Just let me know. Just let me know. And if you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Go ahead and ring that bell, because I want you guys to be notified when we come out with new videos, because we do this every week. And if you're in the subscribing mood, if you're in the following mood, go head on over to Instagram. Link will be in the description below. And follow my new Instagram account, Recovering Audiophile. Got it right. Got it right. I am so proud of myself. Thank you. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Remember, the only person that has to like the sound of your system or your speakers is you. Yeah, you. Right there. You. Specifically. You're the only one that has to like it. So, until next time, guys, thank you.
Except for Philip.
Except for Philip? Except you, Philip. You know who you are. You know what Philip I'm talking about. Yeah, you. You, Philip, you don't get to enjoy your speakers. I will tell you what to enjoy. Everyone else, the only person that has to like the sound of your system is you. But Philip, I'm coming for you. Anyway, thanks you guys so much for watching. We have filmed this video a lot, like many times. So we're gonna get out of here now. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, be well, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and just have a pleasant day. Bye.
How are we starting this?
At no time is this a factual anything. We're upbeat. We're upbeat. We're moving. Just keep swimming. All right. That's my pick. I don't know. Is that satisfying? Does that tell you anything? How do I end it? Tell me how to end it. That was a train wreck, but it worked out.
A train wreck?
That worked out. All right.